Previous course, we briefly analyzed the upcoming game. I also left you an assignment at the end of the last class. Let's familiarize ourselves with the game beforehand. This lesson, we can officially enter the actual combat part of the game. First, we create a project. Open Editor. Since we start from 0, so choose the project. Click on New Project. Give the project a meaningful name. Prevent not knowing later what is written in this project. Here is the project name. We use the English word for zombie. Then select the project save path. Click to create. Project creation. Left window. You see that the root node defaults to temper sense. Represents a temporary scene. We changed the scene name to default sense. Represents the default scenario. There are 2 nodes by default in the current scene. The light node is used to provide lighting effects. Camera node is camera for shooting scenes. In subsequent games, various objects need to be placed. If left uncategorized, it will appear disorganized. So, let's first standardize the node hierarchy in the next scene. We create a new empty node environment config. For environment configuration, what about that node? Drag to this node. Create a new static object. Used to place static objects in the game. Create a new empty node player. Used to place players. Create a new space point manager. Used to place management components in the game. For example, game difficulty control and input control. Create a new empty node DAR for placing other elements. Next, we go under the specification project structure. Return to the project window. Create a new resources folder here. It is used to store various resources that need to be used in the game. Realm script. Folder. Used to store user-defined scripts. Create new prefabits folder. Used to store pre-fonts in games. New UI access control armor. Used to store UI components used in games. And finally, we will use the player resources for the next lesson. Import in. Search for player in the course package. Find player-related resources. Entire player folder. Copy to the resources character folder. After importing resources, search for player in the project panel. Find the prayer font. Drag the pre-player font to the player node. You can get the player character. Some students will definitely have a question. Where do these resources come from? In enterprise development, resource materials are usually designed and provided by the art team. Individual entrepreneur. It can be obtained through the following channels. The first channel. You can edit the asset store through us. Obtain. Second channel. You can get some free resources online. Here are two very useful websites. The first website, MateYnet website. This website can generate material models from text. Select text generative model. We want to generate a standing warrior. Higher requirements for height increase. So we can put a solid stand in the queue. Art style selection realism. Click. Generate. Wait a moment. You will see a touch. Select touch preview. Find the right touch to refine. What if the generated effect is not satisfactory? You can adjust the keyword generation again. After that, the fascia is refined according to a satisfactory touch. Then click Download. Just clip it on FBXX. Unzip the downloaded compressed package above. Then after decompression, folder, drag to Soundboard Gen 6 Game Engine. In the pop-up dialog box, select the resource to import. Click the Import button. After successful import, that is, you can see that the suffix is a preferable file. Drag it into the game scene. That can be used. The second website Mixam. And this website is able to generate character animations. Click Upload Character on the right. Upload role. Select the FBX file downloaded in the previous step. Then set the key joint points according to the prompts. Drag the corresponding point. Set up the chin-hip joint, knee joint, elbow joint, wrist joint for subsequent animation generation. Then, select the corresponding animation to preview the effect. As for the use of these two websites, also relatively simple. The internet also has a lot of learning materials. We won't go into details here. So far, we set up a standardized project. In the next section we will implement the manipulation of the character.